Welcome to the Chaos and Carry-Ons podcast with your two favorite hosts, Stephanie
and Shelby.
Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride. Join the journey, come inside.
Today is going to be an unpopular opinions podcast where we're going to talk about our, I think we're doing 5, right?
I think I have 6 on my list, but it was just in case we have the same on any of them and I needed like an extra. But yeah,
Okay.
I think 5 would be fine.
That shows how unscripted this podcast is. We're coming in here, we have no idea how many we're even doing.
We are flying by the seat of our pants.
Who's starting? Oh, well, we should say this is 5 unpopular opinions about Disney World specifically.
Yes. So we were going to do the we listen and we don't judge like TikTok trend. But then when I started making my list, I thought the same thing. Like this is more of an unpopular opinion. And I don't know if I want to do we listen and we don't judge and everybody judge me. So that was our plan.
You know what I was thinking about the we listen and we don't judge story would have been perfect for that is the time that I snuck into that bathroom at the Baptist church to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Past the security lady. That would have been a good one. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that story out there.
Well, that's how I
everything
feel.
That ended up
I
happening.
feel like I have several good ones, but I don't know that I want it out there. So that was our original plan for this episode was we listen and we don't judge. But now we're pivoting and it's going to be top 5 unpopular opinions, like Disney themed, Disney World themed.
Yeah. So you want to start it?
Go ahead.
Okay, you're letting me start it? Okay. So my first unpopular opinion is that I think that It's a Small World is in my top 5 of most favorite rides.
Really?
Yes. And see, that's such... why do people hate it so much? They hate the song. I don't understand the hate around that ride.
I think it's not... so it's the song, but it's that song playing on repeat for 12 minutes that you're in the ride. And I think that's more of what it is. And for a lot of people, it's like a nostalgic ride. I rode this when I was a little kid for my first trip to Disney World, so they have to do it every time.
Yes. So my grandmother used to make us ride, like we had to ride that ride. And now I love riding that ride and I make all of my kids ride that ride and they hate it. They all will say that they wish that I didn't make them ride it. I'm like, no, you're riding this. This is my favorite ride.
From now on, we'll let you take Taylor because she makes us ride it. It's her favorite ride, probably number 1 favorite at Disney World or at Magic Kingdom. And she makes us ride it every time. So from now on, we'll just let you and Taylor go G-Haul in Small World.
Okay, you want to go next?
This is why I wanted to do we listen and we don't judge, because you judge me on this. Hardcore judge. But
I already know what she's going to say, and it's very annoying.
So I am team Mickey ice cream sandwich over Mickey premium bar. And any day of the week, that's what I'm picking. I will rarely ever pick a Mickey bar. It's only going to be if the ice cream sandwich is not available. That's my pick.
I don't understand that. I've never seen an ice cream sandwich on a shirt. It's the bar.
Well, I mean, so I think the bar probably came first and then they added the sandwich later, I'm assuming, because the bar is like an iconic Disney snack. But I mean, on all those after hour parties that we did where all the ice cream was included, I get the bar every time. I never pick, not the bar, the sandwich. I never pick the bar.
I can't tell you the last time I ate a sandwich.
Well, you did. I can tell you the last time you did. It's in June when we went to the after hours because I made you to see, like, to compare. And that's when you found out that I picked the bar. The sandwich. Yeah. Why do I keep saying that? I picked the sandwich over the bar.
Well, my next one, I don't know. It might shock you. I don't know if you probably did pick this up, but I'd be fine to never step foot in Epcot ever again. It's not my jam. The Ratatouille ride is fine. The Nemo. I will say that I do really enjoy that aquarium. But I don't think most people go in there and even know that it's there. And that is the only thing that I like about Epcot is the aquarium.
You know what shocks me the most about this is how you are so much about culture and themes, and Epcot is like you can't get more culture than Epcot. That really shocks me.
I know. I feel like it's so spread out.
It is.
It's so much walking, and it's so much adult people that like to drink.
It is.
That's what I don't like about it.
It really
It's turned
is.
into that now.
Especially if you go like Food and Wine Festival. Definitely. I like Epcot, but I don't love going during Food and Wine. And that's why, because you're right. It's a lot of drunk adults because they drink around the world. We don't drink, so that's not my jam. Now, I like to snack around the world. If you've listened to any of our previous podcasts, you know, like that's my jam is the Disney snacks. And actually, I think every unpopular opinion that I have, okay, I take that back. 2 out of the 5 revolve around food.
That's
So, but I'm surprised by that. I'm surprised to hear you say that.
I thought you would be.
So my next one is, I think the iconic Disney turkey leg snack is very overrated and disgusting.
What?
And I think I would rather chew a dog bone than eat that turkey leg.
Oh my Lord. No. I love that thing.
No, it is dry. It has no flavor. And then you look like Fred Flintstone walking around with a turkey leg.
It may be memories for me because my granddad loved that turkey leg. And every time I eat one, I think of him because that was like his thing when he went to Disney World. He ate turkey leg every day.
My brother, my brother loves them too. And I laugh when I see these people carrying them big old turkey legs around in the parks. To me, it's just dry and it's not my favorite snack. But I'm done talking about food now. So there we go.
Okay, my next one is, this is so painful. I think the Art of Animation is overhyped.
Well, we already know why you feel that way. You have bad memories there.
I do, but I feel like that people, I'm just going to be honest, like as far as like amenities and things like that, I feel like people look at the pool, which the pool is nice and it's a lot newer than a lot of the other ones. Mm-hmm. But for the price difference to me between like that one and the Pop Century, I do not understand it. Mm-hmm. Like the rooms are not that much nicer.
No,
it's the theming. Aerial.
It's the theming of like, especially that Cars side, the Lion King side. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that I've heard, people that I've booked for, when they choose Art of Animation, it's because they want to go to Disney and feel like they're inside of a Disney movie. And you don't really get that. Like at the deluxe resorts, they're not Disney-fied. They have touches of Disney, but they're not like you're waking up and looking out the window and seeing this massive King Triton. I think that's what people want when they stay at Art of Animation.
Yeah. I just, like I said, I don't understand the hype of how that they can if people were picking Pop over Art of Animation because Art of Animation was too expensive for a value resort, they would change the price. Let's be so for real.
Well,
they would do it. And they don't.
What surprises me about Art of Animation is those suites. So the Little Mermaid rooms are just a standard, like you've got 2 beds. It's just a standard hotel room. But Lion King, Finding Nemo, and Cars, those suites, unless you get a good promo, like a good 25% off discount or whatever bounce back offer, you're paying as much for those rooms as a deluxe resort. You could almost stay at the Polynesian for the same price that you're going to pay for a suite at Art of Animation.
It's so overpriced, and people do it like they're full.
They do.
So that's my next unpopular opinion.
So I feel like, well, I already know you're going to disagree with me on this. This was also when I had like we listen and we don't judge in mine versus unpopular opinion. I think I prefer the Skyliner over the monorail.
Oh my Lord. I hate that thing.
I know you do. But here's why. I don't love the Skyliner resorts. I mean, it's just not, I mean, we're trying Riviera for the first time soon. So the Skyliner, though, you're in your own little bucket. You don't have to fold up your stroller, which you don't fold up your stroller for the monorail either. But the monorail, it seems so crowded, especially like if you're going at rope drop or at the end of the park day. The monorail, people cram in there. They're sweaty. They smell like body odor and feet, and it's awful. Where the Skyliner is just your party. And that's why I like the Skyliner better.
Well, let me tell the story of the first time and the last time that we ever rode the Skyliner. So we decided that we were going to try it, like just for funsies. And we were leaving. It kind of seems like Epcot. And we were going to ride it to like the first stop, get off, get back on, and then take the monorail back to the Polynesian. Well, it was dark and you couldn't see anything. I was very shocked by that. Like, I thought there was going to be a light in that thing. And we were over what I assume was water, I think, like from what I could see. But that thing it was windy and it started to sway a little bit. Sophia was flat on the ground. Harper was crying. And I was just like, I was saying it's going to be okay, but I'm pretty sure I was praying out loud. Lord, please. Don't let this thing hit the ground.
It's not that bad. Y'all are so
Derek was sitting
dramatic.
beside us. Yeah, he goes, "This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever witnessed." That's what he was saying.
It's
He's like,
not
"You guys
that
are being
bad.
ridiculous."
It's not that bad. But I do think that you probably felt that way because it was at night and windy. So give it another try.
Oh yeah.
It's not that bad.
Okay. So my next one is, I think the orange Dole Whip is superior to the pineapple. And I think actually most of the other flavors are better than the pineapple.
No, you're wrong.
Do you remember that they had one that was like a lemon and it was like with Sprite, like a float?
Yeah.
I thought that one was awesome. I don't know what it is, but especially now since we went to Alani, I just don't love the pineapple one. And people love it. Like my Sophia loves it. Harper loves it.
I love it, but
I prefer the orange.
I love the pineapple float that's in pineapple. So it's pineapple soft serve with pineapple juice. That's my pick. I can eat just like the standard Dole Whip, like just the soft serve part. But to me, like it is so much better. But I love pineapple anything, pineapple flavored anything. So that's like overboard pineapple in the pineapple juice, but I love it. That's my Jordan Jordan would agree with you 100% on the orange. He likes the orange bird more, but he's not a pineapple eater.
Yeah, I'm not a huge pineapple person, but that one in Alani, I will say, is better than the orange one. But only in Hawaii, and then that's it.
Well, that's not really realistic.
No.
Okay, so my next one, I'm curious to see if you agree with me on this because I think you will, but I don't know. So my family, we prefer resort days to park days. There's been many trips that we've taken where we go and we'll stay 4 or 5 nights in the Grand Floridian or the Polynesian or wherever we're at and not even go to the parks at all. We just hang out at the resort. And we prefer that to a park day.
I mean, I can see that. That's one of the reasons why that we always pick such a nice resort is because we do spend a lot of time there. We can't do the go, go, go. Like when I was younger, it seemed like my parents could do that. And I don't know if I'm not any really older than they were. So I don't really understand what the problem is, but like, I can't do back-to-back park days.
What's funny though to me, so last night when I knew this episode, we were going to try to record this episode, I was like talking out loud and telling Jordan, like, this is what's on my list. And Taylor overheard us talking, and she actually is the one that said this. She actually, like, she reminded me, she said, oh, put on there that we would rather be at the hotel in the pool than at the park. And we all were laughing. I mean, she's 6. Well, she'll be 7. But, like, the fact that she even agrees with us that the resort days trump park days, that I thought that was funny.
So one time you probably remember it, I had just had a major surgery and I was still I was having a really hard time and I was very depressed. And we did I was trying to think of how many nights it was, and I think it was 5-night stay at the Polynesian over New Year's. And that's one of our favorite trips. And we never stepped foot in a park because I wasn't well enough to go in there.
So 2023, when they did my biopsy to find out if I had cancer or not, it was the week of Thanksgiving, and we stayed at the Grand Floridian through that because I needed to get away and not have that on my mind. I didn't want to celebrate Thanksgiving that year. It was really heavy. We also, because it was the week of Thanksgiving, did not step foot into a park. And I think that trip is why Taylor said, like, why she added that to the list, because it was just very chill, low key, not rush. We love it. So that was my next one.
My next one is not necessarily about the park. It's more, well, I'll just say it. If anybody goes to Disney much, you have a favorite Disney YouTuber. Me and Shelby talk about Tim Tracker like he's our buddy. Like Tim said, or Kyle, Kyle Palo and his girlfriend, we talk about them. There's different people that, if you're a Disney fan, you've watched these people, you almost feel like you know these people. I miss Michael K. I know people thought he was so weird. And they thought like he was way too over the top. But I miss seeing his videos.
Yeah, I agree with that. I miss that too.
I see a lot of people that are like, oh, that guy, I'm so glad that guy's gone. But I'm like, no, he had the best videos because he was like watching a grown child experience Disney World.
I didn't watch him as much as you did. There were lots of videos that you would send me, like, watch this, this part of whatever. Tim Tracker is the one that we watched. Well, we watch Kyle a lot too, but Tim Tracker is probably my number one. But I do miss Michael K too. I would agree with that.
Tim Tracker is probably still my number one, but Michael K was a very, very close second, and probably at times I probably watched him more than I watched Michael K.
So was that your last one? Was that 5 already?
Yep.
Okay. I cannot believe we didn't have the same one the whole time. I figured we would. That's why I did an extra one. So my last one is, and I know you will agree with me, but I feel like this is an unpopular opinion for the other people. I am team take your babies to Disney, even though they will not remember it later. I have so many people that contact me about booking trips that have little kids, and they say, I want to book like when they're 5 or 6 because that is the most magical. They'll remember it, which I do agree. If you want to save for years and go on one huge Disney trip and you're only going on one trip, I agree. Go at 5 or 6 so it will be more memorable. But if you can swing it, go to Disney while they are babies because they're free. The baby trips that we took to Disney, like when Taylor, her first trip, she was 10 months old. And that trip was easier than the trips when she was 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, for sure.
Those trips, and they can ride almost any ride at Magic Kingdom. I think there's only a handful that they can't ride. Anything at Magic Kingdom, they can ride and they love it. They're like noticing the characters. They're not scared of them yet because they're still tiny. They don't know to be scared of them. I'm team take your babies to Disney. That's my last one.
So we always end with the highs and lows. And I was trying to think about this, like, what would be almost like an unpopular opinion of a high and an unpopular opinion of a low?
Well, I didn't do that. My high and low was just my highs and lows at Disney World. I know we did the Disney resorts a few episodes ago. So my high and low, I just did like Disney memories in general.
Okay. So if we're going to go with that, I'm going to say that one of my best memories that I wish, now let's think back to 2005 when Derek and I got married. Cell phones and like recording, taking pictures, that wasn't like a thing like it is now. I'll say that. I mean, you took very grainy photos. I don't even know if you took videos at that time. That sounds so like I'm so ancient, but I don't remember that being a thing.
No, we used those little point and shoot digital cameras, and then you'd have to wait till you got home to upload it to MySpace.
Yeah, because I remember when Sophia was a baby getting like, I think it was the Juke, and I was thinking that the photos that are on there, like they were very not good. And I don't know that you could take a video. But anyways, so we have no real proof that this happened. But the night that we got there, it was the 31st because we got married on the 30th. And we went to the Hoop-de-Doo review. And they picked Derek to be in that little, what is it? The little play thing that they do. You know what I'm talking about.
Like the skit.
Yeah, he was the Indian. But then do you remember that in the middle of the show that they tell people to stand up if they're on their honeymoon or if they're celebrating their anniversary?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay. So me and Derek danced to whatever that song is that they play. I think it's like Let Me Call You Sweetheart or something like that. And so Derek, when we were dancing, he said, well, we don't dance at our wedding. So I guess this is like our first dance. And let me tell you, it was pitiful. He's like, she was stepping all over my feet. I was like, oh, we didn't rehearse.
That is so funny.
Yeah, that's one of like my best memories. And it makes me so sad because like we have no, you know, if this happened now, somebody probably would have taken a video. Like I could have handed my phone to somebody. And no, I have no photos of it at all.
I have never heard that story. I love that.
I do have the certificate, and whenever we move, now we haven't moved in years, I will come upon it in like some important documents. I still, if like I had to find it today, I would have no idea where to look. But I remember that the last time we moved, I remember coming across it, and that's usually when we think about it. But anyways, that was a great Disney moment.
So my high moment, and I mentioned this in one of the last episodes, I was on a girls' trip, and actually, we're actually going to be at Magic Kingdom on the 11-year anniversary of Jordan proposing in Magic Kingdom. We've been a lot through January because Taylor's birthday is January, but we're actually going to be there on that day this time, and I'm so excited. So I was on a girls' trip. I was in Magic Kingdom, and my mom says, let's go get a Dole Whip. And I said, Mom, it was like in the 40s or 50s that day. And I said, no, I really don't want a Dole Whip right now. It's cold. And she said, no, let's go get a Dole Whip. So it was weird to me that she was demanding we go get a Dole Whip. So we go over there and the guy says, oh, actually, I have something for you. And he hands me this folder that has a clue of where where to go next. And I can't remember in what order. I still have the papers, but I can't remember in what order. I think then we left the Dole Whip and went to Rapunzel's tower. And my mom's best friend was with us, and her daughter, my best friend, were on this trip with us. And my Aunt Linda was standing there holding the next clue. And that sent me to like the carousel. And so Hannah was standing there with the next clue, and it had a $50 coin to go make a wish in Cinderella's wishing well. So when I get to Cinderella's wishing well, Jordan is there on one knee. And it was the most magical proposal ever. I joked with him before, like when we were dating, if you don't propose at Disney World, I'm not going to say yes. And I would have said yes no matter where we were. But the thought that he put into that and the effort to make that happen, it just, I don't know. I'm like literally getting teary-eyed thinking about it because
I'm shocked that. Okay, so did you know that your Aunt Linda was there?
She was there on our girls' trip. It was me, Mom, Aunt Linda, and Hannah. We were there like for a girls' trip that week, and he flew down on that day, and they knew. Mom obviously knew because he had talked to Mom and Dad before this, but I mean, I don't know that they knew like how it was going to go down until that day. And So I don't know. It was weird that mom was pushing, let's go get a Dole Whip. Let's go. And I'm like, it's freezing. I don't want it right now. No, let's not. Let's do something else. That's when I realized, like, wait a minute, something's going on. And, but I don't,
So when they gave you the clue, then did you know, like, okay, this is happening?
Yes. Oh yeah. The first one, when that Dole Whip guy said, I have something for you, it was like laminated, and, it said clue number 1. And he even put, like, for the Rapunzel Tower one, that's, anybody that doesn't know, that's my number 1 favorite Disney movie, Disney princess. Like, I love Tangled. And he put on there, like, the quote that Flynn Rider says, like, you are my new dream. And it says, like, go there for your next clue. So, like, the thought that he put into that to make that happen, that, I mean, no Disney trip will ever beat that, obviously. But I don't know. I'm excited to be there next week to get our side-by-side picture in front of the castle. Like, what we looked like then and what we look like now, 11 years later. So, anyways, that's my high moment for Disney.
Yeah, that's a cute one. But Jordan really set the bar really high.
He really, really, really did. And
he came out of the gate strong.
I joked with him, that I wouldn't say yes if he didn't propose there. But I would have said yes if he was in my parents' driveway. It didn't matter. But he really did set the bar high.
I have to think about this for a minute because I didn't write it down and I've lost my train of thought now. You've distracted me with your romantic story.
Well, yours was romantic too.
Okay, I know what I was going to talk about. So I'm going to say this was kind of going into the unpopular opinion, but the first trip that we took after COVID, when Mateo was 1, we went back for that trip. And if you remember, there was a lot of chatter online of people saying, like, the magic was gone. You couldn't hug the characters. Do you remember all of that?
Oh, yeah.
And it was a lot different. Well, I was trying to be in the mindset of, it's still great. So we were going into, I guess it was, and maybe it would have been the trip before, but I think it was that trip. We were going into Monsters, Inc. ride, and Mateo dropped something. He was holding, maybe it was that I was holding like a cup of water or something, and he knocked it out of my hand, and it like went all like on the floor. Now we were outside, we weren't inside, but the guy that was standing like right at the front, you know how there's somebody that like does crowd control right at those doors that you walk in there?
Yeah.
He just like totally flipped out and was like, what are you doing? You made a mess or whatever. And I just remember like being like thinking like, okay, first of all, like, dude, this was an accident. Like, and you're screaming at me. Like everybody just like stopped and is like looking at this man. Well, Derek was like, we were going in. And so Derek was already like, he was inside and he's looking at the man and he's looking at me. And then he told, like, I was going to just like go then around him. And he's like, no, you cannot go in. And like told Derek, you go. Like, why are you standing here? Well, I don't know why. Derek said nothing. I guess he just thought, okay, like he wasn't going to argue with him. Well, Derek just takes off and just leaves me out there. Yeah. And in that moment, though, I was like thinking, okay, like this, like net has, like I had never witnessed anything like that. Like generally cast members are like above and beyond.
Yes.
So I was like thinking, okay, COVID literally has made people where like they have no patience. Mm-hmm. They're always in a bad mood. And I just remember like the rest of the trip kind of just having like that feeling of like the magic is kind of gone. Like, this is not the same. Now we'll say it has gotten better.
It is better, but I've had a lot of people tell me that the cast members are not as kind and friendly as they used to be. And I don't know why I mean, COVID really brought a lot of people's true colors out, I think. I mean, not even just Disney, but people in general.
Yes.
But it's funny that you say that, because if I didn't tell the proposal story, my other high moment for Disney was all the trips that we took post-COVID. Well, specifically like our cruises, when it was mask mandates, social distancing, very limited capacity in the parks. those were some of my favorite Disney memories because it was so different and it was so not crowded because everybody was like, I'm not going if I have to wear a mask, or I'm not cruising if I have to be vaccinated or whatever. And I loved it. I loved it so much because nobody was there. But we went like as soon as they opened, and I think you guys waited a few months after we went first. I was still there. I mean, I have memories of Taylor, like I pulled her mask down to take a picture. It was actually her 3rd birthday. We were there. And so that would be January 2021. And she took her mask off just long enough for a picture of just her. There's nobody around us to take a picture in front of the castle. And we got yelled at because her mask was off. My 3-year-old with nobody around, like, but the cast members were like, they were hunting you down. And if you didn't have that mask on, you were in trouble. So yeah, I mean, I do see like the magic, it was different for sure, but
It was.
But yeah, I mean, I personally didn't have any experiences with rude cast members, but I've had clients tell me that they have post-COVID.
Yeah. Like I mean, I know too, like giving it to them. I know that people are also harder to deal with. I've witnessed like multiple people having absolute just tantrums over nothingness post-COVID at Disney. Yeah, on the cruise, just different places. And you're thinking, just please, just stay home if you're going to act like this. I'm talking grown adults. So I know that they have to put up and deal with a lot, but I was feeling like, dude, this is not that serious. Like, you know, there was a broom right there. We were outside. It wasn't like he had to like mop something up. Just, you know, use the broom, sweep the ice cubes out of the way. We're done.
Yeah, that's really ridiculous.
He was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just remember like trying not to, but letting it like partly ruin my day.
Well, my low point of a Disney trip, I had to think really hard because I don't have a whole lot of low points, and this is really not even like a make or break it, which this is hilarious because this was your number one thing that you said, like your unpopular opinion about Small World. The worst Disney memory that I could come up with was being stuck on It's a Small World for over an hour. We sat in this same spot. You know, the part, anybody that's been to Disney and has ridden It's a Small World will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a hippopotamus that has a lazy eye. It doesn't blink like the other eye. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like towards the end. This big hippo. And it stared at me the entire time with that one eye blinking and the other one like blinks every 3 or 4 blinks that the other one does. Oh my goodness. So yeah, being stuck in there. When the ride stops and people are stuck, why don't they turn the music off? That's what I want to know. So
well, I've also been stuck on It's a Small World. I remember it was driving Derek nuts, but I was having a good time.
I'm sure you were. It was
I
awful.
will say, I have been stuck on a ride before, and it was the Barnstormer, and it was hot. It was in July, okay? And it was me and my granddad, and we were stuck. And we were stuck out in the sun for an hour in July. Imagine that.
Why didn't they get y'all off and like let you walk down the track?
I have no idea.
Well,
but it was misery. I still remember it like very well. My grandmother will sometimes bring it up from time to time when we talk about going on the Barnstormer. Remember that time you and Granddad got stuck on there and you were like so ill when you got off of there? Yeah, because it was hot. It was very hot. I'm pretty sure I got sunburned.
If Taylor or Mateo got stuck on there, we would be done for. We drugged them on there last summer and they hated that ride. Both of them.
You know, I was thinking about that when we did that, or when we talked about that in an episode, and why we did not mention that the thing that cracked me and Derek up is that you were telling Taylor, just think it just goes as fast as Mama drives. And Derek goes, ooh, she goes pretty fast. Or you said it's like Mama's driving or something like that.
Because I was trying to get the point across to her that like, it looks like scary. It's a roller coaster, but these hills are no bigger than like what we drive at home. Like just close your eyes and pretend like you're in the car was my point. It didn't work.
It's like, what is she driving like?
Spoiler alert, they still hated it.
They did. Well, I think that's going to wrap up this episode. let's just say that once again, we're so grateful and thankful to all of you that listen every single week. And our new listeners, we have a lot. We're going to say it every single time. We are in shock that you guys want to listen to this podcast.
I remember where I was sitting when you texted me and said, okay, hear me out. The two most introverted people that you know start a podcast about traveling. And at first I was like, no, there's no way. We can't do that. There's no way. But then the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? Like, that would be really fun. Even if nobody listens. Because I really expected like 10 people to listen. If nobody
Same.
listens, then we'll just stop. But we have people that actually care.
Well, we both it's so funny too, because we set like such a low goal. We're like 20 people. I remember Shelby saying, if we get 50 people, I'll be shocked. And we like blew that way out. But it was so just, I really was starting it because I know we said we weren't going to talk about adoption and cancer, but we went through adoption, and I mean, Mateo was great. Like, we really had a pretty great adoption, but still with that comes a little bit of trauma from just having to walk through it and everything. Well, it was like, that was kind of wrapping up where it felt like we were, would you say stable in a way? And then Shelby, got diagnosed with cancer. And so there was just a lot, there was like very high highs and there was very low lows. And so I was kind of thinking like, what did I tell you? Like, either we're going to get really depressed and, like people won't be able to be around us, or we're going to get really funny. Yeah. So let's try to stay funny and let's just make a podcast to kind of try to forget about all of it.
And I mean, I've definitely talked a lot more about cancer than I intended to. I still haven't told like the full story, but I talked about it more. But I mean, it was a very large part of my life. Just like, we didn't want it to be all about that. Kind of, this is our way out, like away from reality a little bit, and relive some of our best moments. So that was our goal. And it's been I have really enjoyed it. I think it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, but once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Oh, hold on. Before we close it out. So this is episode number 9. So starting with, the next episode, we're going to have a special guest come on and talk about her travels. And I'm not going to give too much away. You'll have to stay tuned. But we're going to try to do that every 10th episode, have a new guest. So if you have exciting, chaotic, crazy travel stories, or you have like a unique vacation that you want to talk about, or if you want to be in on one of our chit chats, send us a message so we know, so we can add you to the list, to the lineup, because I think that'll be a lot of fun. And if y'all like it, then it doesn't have to be every 10 episodes. We just thought that would be more realistic. But anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there. May your flights be on time and your luggage never lost. But if not, that's where the fun begins.
Bye. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Pack your dreams, grab your bag. Adventures call, let's zig and zag. From castles tall to ocean waves, magic made for wanderers brave. Theme parks light up the night, starry-eyed in sheer delight. Board the ships, set sail and see endless tales and fantasy. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside. From Mickey ears to Dole Whip tree, pick pixie dust beneath our feet. Through the lands and sea we roam. Feel the wonder, feel at home. From rope drop to the fireworks show, lose yourself in the joyful glow. Cruising waters, feeling free. Every twist's a memory. Chaos and carry-ons, let's go. Disney dreams in tow, you know. Every flight and every ride, join the journey, come inside.